All right, welcome everyone to the newsletter and email composer, the design tool that is going to help you send your communications quickly. I am Jackie Wright. I am the web user interface and user experience designer here at Doubleknot. And this newsletter and email designer, I am not even kidding. I am so excited to show this to everyone and to have them start using it. And I am I'm geeking out over this composer. So hopefully everyone else will be just as excited as I am for this. So a few things about this webinar. I'm going to go over some of the design templates that I have created, so give you a visual taste and feel for what you can compose. Then I'm going to go into how to actually create a newsletter within the new composer, and then delve into some of the aspects of the new composer, the more general areas, the global settings, and then the structure and layout and some of the main feature blocks that we have available to us to really help visually define your own newsletters. Then I'll show you how to do a test send and how that is a little bit different than what you're used to. And then finally, we'll open it up for a Q&A session, and then Luke is going to be moderating for us. So if you do have any questions, feel free to put them in the questions panel for him, and then we can answer them at the end. So, okay, we're gonna hop right into some of the newsletters that I have created and did a test send for us and show you what those look like. So here, I created a donation ask email. As you can see, it's a very sleek looking email, and it has a lot of the modern design elements, branded, has the large image in front, a headline and the supporting text. The main thing to note about this email is that I have it actually linked to a Doubleknot donation page. So the button itself is linked to the donation page that you have previously set up. So you can just have a donation ask right from your email. Also in this, it has the links. The link is also a direct link to the Doubleknot page, same as the button. We also have some social media icons and then your standard footer. So that is the donation ask email. Here is an example of a newsletter that I created. Also branded, has the large main newsletter feature here of the image, so a single column layout and a double column layout with alternative images. Also the button that can go right to the donation ask page, some layout where you can do some upcoming events, links, again, social media, and your branded footer. The one thing to note in this one is that you also have a view in browser, which takes you to the HTML site of that newsletter. So what's cool about this one as well is that it is responsive. So you can see this is what it would look like on a mobile phone or on a mobile client. So those are some pretty cool design ones. And then just the virtual, I made a virtual event as well where you can register. Same concept as the donation ask page, that it comes in, you can show the registration for a virtual event. So all those are linked up to your Doubleknot pages. So how do we create those? We come into Doubleknot application, and then on the left-hand side, you will find this new feature called Newsletter and Email Composer. That's the part where you can create the emails to send. So within the Newsletter and Email Composer, you'll see a list of your previously saved emails. newsletters or emails. Right now I'll just take a look at that donation ask page and give you kind of the general layout of what we did and what that composer looks like. So when you go into edit mode of that, you can come see the title of your donation ask for Child's Creative. And then if you hit continue, you get the composer. Up here, you'll have a load your message, any type of information that's happening within the composer itself. So here is the composer. What we're looking at here is some general layout features, which is your title. We have an undo and redo button. We have a save, preview, and then done. Done takes you right back to the newsletter composer grid. The undo button and redo button are disabled right now because we haven't actually touched the physical email yet. If we did, you would see it. If we added some kind of letter, clicked off, you'll see the undo would highlight here. It is now available. You can click undo. It refreshes the page to what you had previously had. So the other feature over here too is the left-hand column. We have an appearance tab, which has all your global settings and configurations for your email. This global, this appearance tab has 5 settings: your general, your stripes, your headings, your button, and the mobile view. Each one is a more of the universal stylings of your email or newsletter. I will delve into those ones when we start creating a newsletter just shortly. The other section here is the content section, which contains structures, blocks, and modules. The modules are predefined by us and is going to make it for a very quick and easy linkage to your Doubleknot pages. So those are just a general overview of the composer itself. This part here is the visual composer. The visual composer is broken up into header, content, and footers. Usually there is only one header and a footer, and then you can have one or multiple content sections depending on how granular you want to get with your designs. So these content sections, when you click on them, you'll see that they highlight in gray. So you'll know when you are on a content or a section or a container by the highlighted portion in which you are in. So each highlighted portion, once the block here, you'll have these ellipses. When you hover over them, you'll get more available actions for that section or content or container. You'll have your move and drag handles, your copy, and then your delete. So within this content section, when you click it, you have options as well to be able to further define the color, transparency, padding, borders, that type of thing. And you can also see that you have the stripe here. You can tell what it is. It is content, but you can also change it if you wish. So within this content section, we have structures. Again, when you click on the structure and highlight it, it turns the gray color. You can see the options that are available: move, copy, and delete. And then within that structure, its information and design aspects are on the left-hand side. So every time you click on content or structure, it will appear on the left-hand side the elements in which you can further configure that section. So this structure, you can tell, is a 1-column structure. And then also it's padding. You can add more directly or do it globally like that. So it's very universal, like very granular. You can go right into each part and element of this page and change it up if you wish. So I'm going to just quickly hover over this structure to show that it's a little bit different. It's not one column, it's two column. So within a two column structure, you can change the width if you want the image larger, or even if you want the text a larger portion, you can change it up right within this left-hand section, and it changes the columns width. If you want to equalize it, you can go right back. Similarly, if you want to add another column, you can add it right there. Or if you want to remove one, you can use this little delete icon and delete. So those are just a general overview of some of the elements on this page. I'm going to pop out of here and actually create a newsletter that similar to what we've seen and show you how this works. So once you hit done, like I said, you come back into the newsletter and email composer. I'm going to quickly see if there are some questions here. Sorry about that. Just wanted to see what that question was. So you come back into the newsletter in email composer. We're going to compose new. So once you hit compose new, you'll be coming to a template selector. Now, we have created for you many templates to start you with, your design process. And depending upon what your administrator selects and starts, or even us as the support specialist, allow you to have, mostly it's the administrators that are going to allow you to have certain either generic layouts or generic templates, or already pre-branded template, so you can really start your designs very quickly. So we have here newsletter, some donation appeals, event announcements, generic promotion, a generic response letter, and then just a generic blank template. So we're going to start and we're going to make a newsletter. So I'm going to select the newsletter template. Let's see. Give it a title. Let's say. And then you can give it a category if you want to. I'm going to keep it in draft mode right now. Hit continue. And it brings you right into the newsletter composer. And this is what everyone will be seeing. Besides the branded logo here, you will have this predefined template already available to you. So you can add, remove sections, add your images, add your logo, so and be able to get up and out the door really, really quickly. So we'll begin by just adding a new image. So within the blocks, you can either add an image by dragging it over and finding where it says drop here. When it says drop here, that's where you can put it. So if you are dragging a block around and it doesn't say drop here, or it's not allowing you to put it somewhere, it's truly not allowing you to put that block in that space, because it is pretty smart editor, and it knows that, hey, you're outside the realm of this is not going to look good. So drag it until where it says drop here, drop it in. You can select that image, and then if you want to add a new image, you hover over this dotted blue, select it, and then you can add an image that you from your computer. So I want to add a colorful element to it. So once you select it, it'll load up, and instantly you'll visually be able to see it. Now, if you want to delete the one right below it, you can select it, hover over it. You can see the gray element, and because it's highlighted gray, it allows you to delete. So you can click back into your image, and you can see the image here. Now, if you want to change your image up, there's this icon that says change image. Once you hit it, you can either upload another image or select from your previously uploaded. That simple. So I am going to go back. I'm going to keep that colorful element in there. The other cool feature of the image block is you can change the width and the height right within this left-handed side here. And then you said, no, I really want that actual size. You can simply and easily click on that. And then there's other elements within it. Similarly to the header and block elements. So this is a header element, and this is a text block. These header elements are actually predefined within the global settings. And actually, I am going to take a pause and go back out of this contents section and actually go into the appearance and the global settings and really delve into that real quick, because I had forgot to do that first. So back into the global settings. These settings and the defined templates I have set up with pretty much the best practices of, spacing and width, but if you feel free to change it up to whatever you choose and whatever your branding is and everything that is more defined for you. But for the email width, you really shouldn't go over a max width of 600. But as you can see, there's a left, right, the padding of the whole document. So if I decrease that, you can see right there that it decreases. And then if I want to change the color of the background, I can also do that. So that's globally set right here. The font can also be changed. As you can see, if I quickly change it to a Comic Sans, you can see that it changes globally within the entire email. I'm going to change it back because, quite honestly, no one should be using Comic Sans. So the other elements of this general tab or general drop-down settings is responsive design. This is what allows your email to be responsive for desktop and mobile and tablet. So if I select and turn this off, your email will not be responsive. I'm going to keep it off because there's a setting in mobile view that is going to be related. So I'm going to close that up. Stripes. Stripes are also the global settings for each section. So these are the global ones. These are getting a little bit more granular, so you can set the size and background color for your header or content and footer sections. I'm not going to touch those. I'm going to go back into the headings. Headings also the global feature. So this one is an H1. So if we change that to a different size, every time you put in an H1 from your text editor, it will be that size. I'm going to change it back. Similarly for H2s and H3s, again, you can change your heading, the font, or keep it as the standard. So I'm going to keep it as the Georgina. The buttons. So this is when you drag and drop the button block, the global setting will apply first, which you can have a hover over on the button. So I'm going to select that. So all the buttons, when you hover over them, will now turn a different shade of that blue. You can define your settings. I am going to make that a little bit darker. You can also type in a hex value if you have a specific branded hex color for your buttons, links, headers. I'm going to go back, put that into like that. So again, you can get very, very specific on how you create your global settings and the button look and feel. The border radius, that defines what shape your button will be. So if you want just a slight border on them, you put 5 pixels, click out. You'll see that it actually makes it into a rectangle with just a little bit of a rounded corner. That's it for the button section. For the mobile view, these are the global settings for how your email will look on a mobile device. Now, as you see, there's a blue information section here that says, hey, this is not available yet. That is because in the general section, if you remember that I didn't re-select that responsive design. So if I come back in here and say, yes, I do want it responsive, now this mobile view tab or slider is enabled. You don't see that information anymore, and you have all your settings that you want for your mobile view. So say I want the header size to not, or the text not to be that large within the mobile. So I can change it into 14, but I do want the headers to be a little bit bigger. So we'll do that. So as you notice, they're not changing in this view because we're still on desktop view, but when we do a responsive design, it will look different. And then the footer area, I want kind of smaller, so we're going to put it as 14 too. Keep that as 16. Okay. And then once you go, as you can see too, that you don't actually have to hit save. There's an auto save feature within the composer that within every 3 minutes, it does an auto save. So just in case you accidentally close the tab or you get timed out or anything happens, you walk away from your desktop, it will be saved. So that's a peace of mind. So that's it for the global appearance settings, which really should be set up before starting your email and putting in your content. So once those global settings are set, you can go right back into your content part and really start delving in and putting in your information. So on this, again, we have our branded logo, your image, your text editor section. You can copy sections within here. So again, highlight the structure. I am going to copy that, and it puts it right below. I'm going to again highlight that and delete, and then it removes it. So once you can copy and paste any information that you have right within this editor. So if you have a heading here and you have pre-written text, you can pop over, highlight your text that you want, copy it, come back over, still highlight it, paste it in, do the paste or Control V, Control or Command V, and it pastes it right in there. And it doesn't assume the styling of where you bring it in from. So it automatically strips out that styling and it keeps in your defined styling that you have put in there. The other little feature here is that there is a more granular, even more granular section here that when you highlight the text, you'll see this text editor up here. You can change what heading they are, or if you want it to be a simple paragraph or anything. So it's definitely more granular than the global. So that you can choose what type you want, change up the font if you want, size, color. But once you do, if you change it up with more granularly, whatever these settings are that you just changed it to, if you go back in and change it globally, it won't take. It'll just keep it'll have the overridden style and color of what you have chosen here within that editor. So I changed that to blue. And if I went back into the global settings and changed it to be that dark, like a magenta, it would not change it up. You'd have to come back in here and change it individually because you overrode those styles. So that's essentially the text editor. I'll scroll down here and let's see here. Let's do it. The social icons. Social icons are pretty awesome feature as well. So here we have the social icon container. I can highlight, if I click onto the container, it shows on the left-hand side what's there. I have the Facebook, Twitter, or Instagram. If I wanted to start fresh and say, I just don't want, I want to start fresh, you can physically drag that social icon anywhere it says drop here, and you can drop it in. I'm going to put it right above so we can start fresh with those. I'm going to go into the bottom here and just delete that one so we're not confused. So I will select that container. As you can see, you have icons here. I'm going to give it a little bit more of a padding on it, which increases it. Give it a little bit more of the space in between the icons. And then the really cool feature that I think, there are predefined colors for the icons. So depending upon how your email looks or how you want it to look and feel, you can change these up. So I am just going to do the white logos on the background because it's very dark. You can also change up the sizes of those icons, make them bigger, smaller. And then also, if you don't want one of the icons in there, there's the remove, so you can remove them. You have your links right here, so you can add it right here. Whatever your Facebook site is, or whatever your social media site that you want to link that to. Site is HTML or HTTPS, so it's any web page essentially. You can also add a share option to it. So within this link, you can define this as any type of link that you want. Mail to, file, telephone, other, but then you can also share it. You can have I want to share this on Facebook. So if you want to share this newsletter or you're specifically a donation on one of your social channels, there's the share on feature, which also allows you to put what you want the preview link to be once somebody shares. But this one, because it's an email, I just want it to be the site of my Facebook, and say I want to add something else. This add icon opens up a little panel of social, chat, and others that are already, the icons are already there. So I think that's pretty cool. So I want to add my LinkedIn channel. So my LinkedIn, and then I don't want YouTube. I'll put my Twitter, and that's it. Those are now your social channels that are linked right into your email. You can put them to, the structure has some alignment features right in there. So they're very versatile and very easy to put in there. So that is good. So coming back up here, so that's how you do your social channels. I'm going to come back up here and do a double knot link. So if this main article is something that you want to link to an event, we'll highlight that, we'll copy a heading, double click it, oops, or you can highlight that. But this right here, right now it's just, it says container. So a container is just a button block, which you can hover over and put it in there. So the button blocks are for external links or external call to actions that you want to link to. To make this a true Doubleknot link to a page, we would go to modules, which are the predefined links that we have set up that are going to be available for everyone. So you simply drag and drop that in. And as you can see, this one's called container. This one's now a smart container, and you can see it highlighted in blue. So this smart container, once you select it, you can see it looks a little bit different than this container when you select it. So this smart container is a Doubleknot link. You hit this choose the product, the browse button, it opens up your Doubleknot links page. And just navigate to wherever you had previous an event or activity or calendar event or any other Doubleknot page that you have previously created, and you can select it. And the title goes in here. So the link name is what's going to be displayed right in there. I'm going to do it a virtual event. And then I'm going to rename it. Register for the event. This is the hover over that when you hover over the button that you will see. So this link name is directly going to be reflected within the button. When you hit OK, it automatically puts in the title for the DK title. And now you can see that your event link is linked truly right here. So you're all set. That will link directly to your Doubleknot page. Now same thing goes true for any of the other modules. It kind of is the same process. Doubleknot link, you can drop it in, select the smart container, and you can see the choose the product and you can hit the browse, and it will take you to that pop-up. I'm going to just get rid of that. The other cool thing too is the view more section, the view more module, or it's not view more, view in browser predefined module. So this is going to be a little bit of, so you hover over it, you come up here and you say, no, I want it up in my section here, but you don't see that drop here. The reason is that there is not a structure in which that you can drop this module. So if there is not a structure available, it won't say drop here. So to add a structure, just go over here. You can drag and drop. Yep, I can drag and put my structure right in there. Now you have a structure in which to put your module. Drag and drop, and it's there. So again, you can choose the smart container, hit browse, choose the newsletter. So every newsletter, because it is being auto-saved, September newsletter 2020, there it is. You can select your link, make sure it still says view in browser, hit OK, and you're all set. That's how you create a view in browser link. Now, these smart containers, although we have predefined them as like a standard blue, you can customize them to whatever color you would like. you just have to click within that element. You see how it turned gray? On the left-hand side, we can now change that color. So if we just want it to be very, very subtle, we can put it as a, well, that's too subtle, there. Change the color right in there, add some more padding to it. The one thing I would suggest not to do is change it up once in this section. If you need to change the title or link to it, make sure you hover over it, click Smart Container, you'll get your Doubleknot link availability here, hit browse, go through that process. So that is how we do the modules and predefined elements. I think, so I covered the images, social, let's see what other blocks we have here. Yeah, spacer is this. So this individual one is a spacer, which you can increase the padding on. The width is how big it actually is. So if we want to just make it 50%, you can, it'll decrease it. And then, yeah. Those are that. The other, if you want to delete a entire content section, you can go hover over or hover over here. You'll see that you'll hit the ellipses. I'm going to delete that entire section. You can, or you can go in and delete that structure individually. Oops. And then if you notice, that structure didn't also contain the spacer element, so you can go in and just delete it. Sometimes you'll see that because you deleted the block without deleting the structure. So it is kind of a little can within a can within a can. So it's a container that contains a structure that contains a block. So that's how they're structured. And as you can see in this section too, if you do delete a block, you'll get this blue area and you can quickly add a block without going over to the block section and dragging it back over. So there. So that pretty much covers the elements of the newsletter and composer. I'm sure there's many questions, but one of the main things, which is also a very, very cool feature, if you want to personalize a email or newsletter just to have the customized element, we offer the merge tags right in here. So you can have it, write some text, dear. So within the text element, you can highlight it, write whatever you would like, and then up here are merge tags. So within the merge tags, you can drop it down, and these are linked to what the Doubleknot columns. So you can have the individual's first name, last name, whatever you want it to have that is defined within your Doubleknot system. So if you want the client's or customer's first name, you can have it right there. It'll put in the merge tag for you. We'll do a little comma afterwards, and then you can allow the first name to be shown. So that is a merge tag. Yeah. So after you are complete, if you finish it up and you think you're okay with it, you can hit done. It saves it, and you can go back into your newsletter composer or newsletter composing grid. It's my computer, it's not the system. So you can see in the list that the newsletter is right here. If you want to do a test send, you can go right here, email. It pops you into the message writer. You can add your recipient. I'm just going to add my name. include, add a subject line, my newsletter 2020. And the biggest difference here is this message center or area. This section is a view only. So this is like this is a visual of what your email is going to look like to your clients. If you find something and you say, oh shoot, I need to edit something, do not edit it in here. Just hit cancel, go back to the newsletter and email composer, click edit on this email, and go back in and edit it within the new newsletter composer, and not in here, because this is truly just a visual of what's going to be sent. And then you can choose when you want to do the test send. I'm going to send it now. Hit OK, and this should be very similar. It comes back into the communication center. Your test is now in here. Here you can see your tests. It takes about 3 to 4 minutes for it to queue up and send it, which I've noticed. But once it is sent, you'll see it into the sent column, which I'm sure everyone is very familiar with. Okay, so that is the newsletter and email composer. I know there was a lot of features and a lot of intricate areas in there. So if anybody has any questions, I think, Luke, if you want to start fielding some, we can, or if anybody has anything that they want to ask me, we can do that now. All right, let me allow people to answer. Luke, are you there?
Yes, I'm here.
Okay.
I just sent you a message, actually.
Oh, okay. In the questions?
No, just to you directly.
Sorry.
I think, yeah.
Oh, I apologize. I don't see anything in the question. Oh, in the question section here. Oh, are there any questions currently in the QA? Yes. So let me open that up. I'm going to allow some questions here. Let me open that. Okay. So the first one. Will you share the recorded webinar afterwards? Yes. Not only will you get the recorded webinar, I also have put together a how-to of what we just went through it as a PDF. So you will get this PDF of some of the general layouts, how-to, and then some of the aspects of the composer itself. So that will be also available to you. Can we create our own custom templates and save them to the template selector? Yes, yes. So if you are an admin, you can take one of the just generic templates that we have for you and brand it, or just make those available for your clients, and it'll be, you can see them physically within this new newsletter composer. Is there a mobile preview mode? Yes, I'll show you that too. Actually, the mobile preview. So if we go into, say, that donation page, that donation ask, just go in, edit it. So within this, the general part up here, you can hit preview. So once the page loads, So this is the desktop view of this. So if you go in and hit preview, it'll load up another tab, and you can see what it looks like in as a mobile preview. I can't, yep, there we go. So it'll open it up separately, and then you can see what it will look like. So again, that was through that preview button right up there. And when it says, unfortunately, I don't see that any of that in my composer, is that an administration privilege thing? Yes. I think, Luke, if you want to answer how that is going to be rolled out to clients, or you can answer that.
Yes. So yes. So there will be not a setting, I apologize, I just lost the word, a permission with newsletter design that will be made available to administrators so that they can pass this along to their relevant team members or use the system themselves. And if you would like access to that, just send that request over to support@doubleknot.com via email.
Okay. And yes, and once that is activated, you will see this new composer when you hit create new. So right now you will not see it. So once it is that privilege is set, then yes, you will see a completely different composer from what you are seeing today. It says, do you have to relink the view in browser link every time you make a new email, or does it auto update? No, you have to create it every time because it is a different email. So if we had a generic one that was predefined, it will not auto update. You have to go in because it doesn't know what to auto update it to. So that's the only caveat. So you do need to update that smart container view in browser every time you make a new email because it is newly saved within the system. Let's see, clients to start using. When, yeah, I think Luke just answered it, when these features will be available. So there's also questions here for Luke. Is there a way to check the recipients of an email before pushing send?
Yes. Yes. Yeah. So when you're composing an email at the top, there will be a section that highlights the groups or individuals that you have already selected for that email.
And then there's a question, yeah, and in the same regard, can you set up a time template that goes out? For example, you want to set up an email that goes out, a monthly template to go out to all membership renewals when they are due.
Yes, so you can schedule a message to send. So once it's been created in newsletter, you can set up an email and have it scheduled to send out at a specific time. And it doesn't have to be that day. You can select the date and you can select the time within a 15-minute window. So at 15, half hour, 15 to the hour, or on the hour.
Also, is there a way for, oh, sorry, to piggyback on that other question that you said, is there a way to check the recipients of an email before pushing send? And then she also asks, but can you do addresses within that group? Can you check the recipients that are in that group?
Okay, to confirm the recipients within a group, you would have to go within the group itself. And there's many different ways to do that. It depends on how the group is structured. If it's an e-list, you can view the people on that e-list within the constituent management. If it's a list based off of an event, you would have to run a report to see who is registered for that event. So really the question depends on how you're pulling that group. So all of them can be found, it depends on what type of group we're talking about.
Okay, and is there a way for members to unsubscribe, and how is that tracked?
So typically when someone unsubscribes, it's when they choose to opt out. And when they opt out of receiving emails from Doubleknot, that's something that they can no longer receive any correspondence. There's also the instance of someone who leaves a group within their profile. And again, you can pull up a detailed constituent list within constituent management in order to do so. It's under the tab groups/elists. You would go into the group and select assign, and at the bottom there's a section called detailed constituent list. I also want to preface that unless the questions are specific to the newsletter function or how it relates to sending a newsletter via email, we want to try to keep those questions on those bounds. If it's outside of that, feel free to send us an email at support@doubleknot.com.
Yeah, I think that was it for the emails about the actual composer. The one thing I wanted to mention too, that within the email, although in the composer you don't see the unsubscribe or manage subscribers, if, like Luke just said, when you set that up, you can see that within the bottom of the email, and that is what is displayed. So it's not within the composer itself, it's outside of that. But it will be on whatever is sent. Is there any other questions about this, the new newsletter and email composer? Like I said, every time I use it, I find some more in-depth way or creative way or out of the box way to design an email, and honestly, I like this better than any of the other composers I've used, including MailChimp and Constant Contact. So as a designer and as like just a true like out of the box editor, I'm very excited about it. And I hope everyone else was as well. So. I think that was it. So, all right, if there are no other questions, I will end this webinar. And again, if there's any other questions, please send some of them along to, you said Luke, right? Correct? Or support?
Support@doubleknot.com.
Support@doubleknot.com, and I will make this recording available and also the PDF documentation for you guys. So thank you, and happy emailing. All right, thank you.